you have anything racist or sexist you want to get out of the way right now?
No, I generally try to abstain from such kind of things anyways.
Wow, it's almost like you've been trained.
I was going to say something about farting, but...
All right. Oh, shit.
So how about that weather, huh? Arg. Says he. Obviously, he doesn't care about the weather. So sad. The weather is important. So is the virus. We do have distance. There's some relative distance between us.
Am I going to need to cut all this shit now?
Probably.
Oh, are you talking about this coronavirus bullshit?
Yeah, I've just been saying a bunch of random bullshits about how you don't care about the weather. And then about the virus, and we do have some distance between us.
Well, yeah. The distance between us is not because of this bullshit virus nonsense.
No. I always sit far away. By choice.
Yeah, I was going to say, no one really likes sitting next to me. I get it. Yeah, and then we had an earthquake, too. That was fun.
Yes, we did.
In Salt Lake City, Utah.
There's been a few aftershocks. Like, I think there was one this morning.
There were 2 this morning.
I got one at 3 and then one when I was actually awake.
Yeah. That one happened at exactly 11. Oh, Dave texted me back.
That bastard. What did he say?
I just asked him if he was working today, and he said that he's working from home.
That bastard. Would he be the type you think to like work more than he should now that he's like everything's at home, or because some people will have a hard time like turning it off?
Oh, I absolutely cannot work at home. That's one of the reasons why none of this shit gets done. Why my apartment looks like hell.
Well, that's part of the reason.
Yeah. No, I think Dave could absolutely like get shit done. I mean, he would probably still have like movies or TV shows or something going on, and then just like mute it or something when he had to, talk on the phone. But yeah, no, he would absolutely, get his work done.
But I mean, like, you don't think he would? Some people have a hard time separating, like if they're working from home, either just not starting, or if they do start, having a hard time stopping. It's like they're working a lot later than they should into the day. And
yeah, he would definitely have like trouble, not working if he was at home and had to work. But yeah, I mean, the more important thing there is that he would be getting things done. And yeah, he would be working longer and more than he should. That is for damn sure. All right.
It's been so long since I've seen Dave.
I know.
Dave, I haven't seen your face in so long.
Well, I just texted him to see if he wanted to come and play. He has not responded yet.
I mean, how long ago did you?
Like just this minute.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, it'll be a while.
Yeah, I figured we could get some game done before he showed up if he wanted to come.
So was he saying he would typically be working today anyways, or?
Yeah, that's one of the big reasons why he hasn't like come up for poker or anything, in the last while. It's because they've been, busier than usual, and I believe understaffed to some extent.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking about joining his team, but there's just that difference in pay.
Well, I don't know what that difference in pay would be, and we don't need to discuss that on mic. But
that's fine.
Anyway, yeah, nothing else I can do on here. Sorry, I was looking at Star Trek Fleet Command.
That game again.
Yeah. That's why I said again. All right. So do you remember what all we accomplished last time?
if I recall correctly, there were two fellows who left a bar, and I followed them to a location where they were meeting with other people. And then some of the thugs from the local gang, or whatever you would want to call them, started knocking around on the doors and whatnot, trying to get in, trying to figure out if there were people inside. I watched. I was able to get out the building with great aplomb, but of course, getting down.
Yeah, that was funny. I was just listening to that again.
Of course.
Excuse me.
Yeah, eventually, after picking myself up from the ground, managed to get inside, and that is where we left off.
It is indeed. And god damn it.
Justin from somewhere, for some reason that he does not understand, says yes.
No, he wouldn't. Is this it? No. Ugh. I completely forgot to set aside
Your notes?
the note. That,
Again?
Yeah. God damn it.
God damn it.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. I got that covered.
You're not Justin?
Up both of your faces. God damn it. Oh, this is really going to piss me off.
He does this every time.
Not every time, but yeah, it has been twice now in a row. It's not ideal.
So, if you don't remember, then hopefully I will. Just say some kind of comment about saving it to another location or something like that before I leave.
Yeah, I really should.
And or before we get distracted by something else.
God damn it.
Like the Tron watch. Looks like it's plugged in.
It is.
Has it been charging this whole time?
Yep. Because I plugged it in and then I walked away. Well, I got a lot of notes with porn links in them.
What?
Don't worry about it.
Note to self. Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
That's you? Wait, I mean...
Yeah, I know. Here we go. That's right. It was in a note titled Podcast Notes.
That seems like...
Yeah.
A good name.
Yeah. Except the podcast notes meant one thing when I started that note, and now it means something different. So there's that.
It looks like the watch might be charged. We'll have to look at it later.
Yeah, I always need to look up how to actually set it and correct the time on there because I always forget. Something to do with the buttons. But anyway, when you do set it, you know how in the new Tron, their identity discs, they would have a ring going around them and there would be a little break in the ring in the light.
I'm trying to think if I was ever able to actually finish it, because when I was trying to watch it, I was at my brother's and he had 2 little kids at the time.
Now wait, didn't you go with us when we all went to go see it?
Nope.
Oh, I could have sworn you did. Because that was when we lived at Summit Ridge still. Yeah, because Dave actually got a bunch of tickets for a group of us from work when we all worked at Target still.
I don't think I...
All right, well. Anyway. So yeah, that's how they're designed with the identity discs. And the face of that watch, it has 2 rings that go around it, an inner ring and an outer ring. And there's a little void that moves around the face in each of those rings. And that counts the hours and the 5-minute marks.
The void.
Yep. And then there's a light on the bottom of the face. It's just a line that has 4 lights in there. That counts the 4 minutes in between the 5-minute marks.
Okay, that was going to be one of my next.
Yep. That's why I beat you to it. Wahaha. All right. So maybe I'll learn how to edit with this one and cut out a lot of this bullshit. Anyway. Or I'll just edit in the can and we'll start over.
In the can?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure I've heard that term before. I mean, aside from the can being the toilet, but...
Well, no. The can refers to what old cellulose film was stored in. The steel or aluminum, little trays.
Aluminium.
No, it's wrong. I even heard a British person admit that. I can't remember who it was now, but it was someone funny. And they're like, yes, I've been calling it aluminium my entire life, and I was furious to find out that you Americans were right.
No source, no proof.
I can't remember who it was now. Although I'm fairly certain it was while they were on Conan. I'm pretty sure it was on some Conan show.
Does that mean it holds more weight, or...?
No, I just think that's where I where I saw that. Anyway, so, do you remember where we left off?
I just explained that, but...
You cunt. You see, this is what I meant by editing in the can. See, we start over now, so that later on I don't need to actually cut shit out. So we're doing a take 2, as it were.
Oh, take 2. Well...
I fucking hate you so much right now.
I followed some fellows from the bar down an alley, at a distance, of course, because I wasn't quite sure exactly what they were up to.
No, yeah, you followed them successfully without they knowing.
And scaled a building rather proficiently.
Yeah, that was impressive.
The getting down,
given how you roll.
We'll get to the getting down, but yeah, while watching to try and understand, what was going on inside the building, perhaps I might see something. Some of the wonderful, lovely, kind gangsters appeared, and
yeah, because we never really established exactly who or what those guys are, did we?
No group affiliation or anything. But I'm hoping that will be something to come.
Yeah,
phrasing.
Maybe. No, shut up. Phrasing's not our thing.
It should be.
I wish it were, though. God damn.
Great man.
Perfect.
Great man.
Oh, yeah, May 7th, I believe.
New episodes?
Yep.
I still need to watch the latest old ones.
1999?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, it's on Hulu now.
I don't have Hulu.
You don't?
I thought I'd mentioned that I had to cancel my Hulu.
I couldn't remember what you had or don't have, and so.
Come on, Tim. But yeah, so I watched the gangsters appear. I believe it was a group of 4.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like they're kind of going down the street in groups of 2 on either side of this block of buildings.
And while they were not in this particular alley, I got the attention of somebody inside, one of the 2 that I met previously, and mentioned that there was no one there. They motioned for me to come inside. I very deftly and skillfully fell down the side of the building and
it's still funny.
Managed to pick myself up and got inside, and that is where we left off.
Wow. The whole episode kind of summed down to just a walk.
And a climb and a fall.
Yeah, so Dave's not going to be able to make it up tonight.
I kind of imagine that would be the case. What do you say?
Yeah, he's working right now, so he can't. Yeah, but he has a considerable number of PTO hours he could use that he's thinking about using now.
Yeah, I bet. I wonder if Dave's as bad as I am at taking time off.
He absolutely is.
Okay. I had like the most in my entire department.
Yeah. He has a lot. All right. Well then. Now that you're inside the building.
Woohoo.
Yeah. There's a group of maybe 6 or 7 of these guys. And when they bring you in, you hear kind of, shuffling across the floor upstairs. But everyone is still being very quiet. There are no lights on the bottom floor. So the guys are just kind of guiding you towards the stairwell.
So I saw 6 or 7 guys on the bottom floor?
Oh yeah. Well, I got ahead of myself.
Okay.
Yeah. There's the one guy who meets you downstairs. You get upstairs. You see there's about 6 or 7 guys in the building. And they've got, just 3 candles lit in the center of the room, and they're on a very low cut, kind of like a coffee table almost, just to kind of keep the light as low as possible.
Okay. What kind of candles are they?
You can't. That's twice so far, and it's only been about 4 minutes.
He's keeping track. As a running timer.
Well, yeah, I remember to start the timer, 2 or 3 minutes in this time, so that ideally we don't go too long in our episodes.
Fair enough.
All right. And as you and the one guy come up the stairs, you see pretty much everyone else like crouched to the side of windows, kind of looking out on both sides. Well, in the room at least that you're in. It's a larger-ish room, more like a common area, and behind you are a couple of like smaller rooms, probably bedrooms, one would think.
Okay, the doors are closed. I presume.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's nighttime. Everyone's kind of locked up, in their homes and all. But yeah, there's a couple of guys at a few of the windows, kind of, cautiously looking out.
Down and out.
Yep. No. We're all down and out, Ben. This is not the time nor the place.
Oh.
All right. So what are you doing following us?
I was hoping that you would have some idea of how we can do something about these gangsters or whoever they are, or you might have some idea of...
What makes you think we would be doing anything like that?
I look around.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I just... you only saw a couple of us. What makes you think that we're doing anything or doing what you want, what you're suggesting here?
Well, the gestures or hand signals that you gave to each other at the bar, and then...
I told you guys that was too much. All right.
I'm kind of worried that, I don't know, someone else might have seen some of that because of the 4 of the gangsters or whoever they are.
Yeah.
That are knocking around here as well.
Well, they're just keeping the evening curfew. So this is a regular occurrence.
So there's a curfew in town now?
Kind of. We noticed that more of us were getting beaten up in the streets later at night, so everyone had just decided to kind of stay at home. And wow, I just realized how real that is now. God damn.
Wow.
Huh. Well, all right.
How apt.
Yes, well, I'm a man who writes to the Times.
I mean, happened to work out that way, I guess, just us not being able to record until now again.
Oh, yeah, mostly the laziness.
Laziness. Great stuff.
Not really. Although I have watched almost every episode of the Clone Wars in the last 7 days.
Oh, the new episode.
It is. It's good.
We have to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay. Bounces. Excitement. I had to explain it because you can't see it, but I bounced.
I'm pretty sure everyone assumed it. All right. Well, we are trying to figure out how best to go about this. If you have any thoughts, there's, maybe another group of us in town. We try to not meet all together. It looks a little too suspicious.
And it is risky if all of you ever get caught at the same time.
Exactly.
Who are these people?
I don't know for sure, but their badges suggest a level of organization that most, roving marauders and local mobsters just don't really possess.
And there's quite a few of them, it seems.
Well, more than we felt comfortable dealing with.
It seemed like their leader was at the town square. Or was that not their actual leader?
Well, are you referring to the guys in their uniforms or the, cowardly pissant deputy mayor who just kind of stood there and took it up the ass while his boss got, while his boss lost his ass? Politicians. Yeah. Again, I write to the Times.
I suppose the men in the uniforms, if we'd call them official uniforms.
Well, I mean, they dress the same, and I presume that was some sort of a plan. But the ones who actually beheaded the mayor and kind of took his successor by the scruff there, as far as we know, they're calling all the shots now.
Okay, so we can assume that at least they're the heads or the leaders of this organization, or...
Well, they're the local bosses.
Okay, so they are a part of a bigger regime.
That's the impression that we get. But none of us have been able to successfully follow them going out of town to see where they come from or what they're doing outside of here.
Okay. Would you happen to know how many of them there are in the town?
We only have a rough count of about a dozen.
Okay, but the evidence that they are leaving town.
Well, occasionally we see some different faces, days apart. We don't know whether they're part of the same, whatever it is they call themselves, but...
It's possible they could be trying to recruit from some of the local roving bandits or whatever, and using the fact that they have this town, I guess, as a recruiting tool.
Well, we have no real evidence supporting any of those statements, which is just one more reason why we've decided to not act yet.
Okay. Have there been any plans to how we might try to follow them, or?
We try to from time to time. Usually they notice us. And then we, stop. But it seems like every night at about almost this time, they tend to convene at the mayor's mansion. So there is possibly some part of the evening when they're all in the same place together.
Okay, they don't have any... Do they have any people as stationed as guards when they're gathered there, or...
No, none of us have been able to get close enough to see any of that.
Okay, that seems like that'd be... It's our first course of action. Close enough to find out what they're doing, or... If not be able to hear, then at least see.
Yeah, that would be great.
Have there been other things that you've been planning on trying to do, or?
No, that's pretty much just been our step one at this point. Identify the interlopers and figure out how best to deal with them.
Has anyone been able to reach out to any other outside towns or anything, or they have a handle on the?
No, they monitor any post going out.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else of note about any of these guys that you guys have noticed?
Yeah, they're just not very nice. This was a good neighborhood before they showed up. And things were getting better than that even.
I've been here a couple of times in the past, and that's kind of what frustrates me so much right now. I like this place.
Yep.
All right. So you said they gather every night?
We think so. The furthest any of us have been able to follow them, they were going in the direction of the mayor's mansion.
Okay. When you're noticed, is that just they just turn around and?
Well, they know how to look for tails. And again, they've noticed us, so we've had to break off our pursuits.
Okay, they know how to look for tails. Is there any place near the mayor's mansion that one might be able to kind of hide and wait, where you might not be noticed?
No, we would need access to a building there, but that's not exactly much of an option usually. We've seen those guys go into most of those buildings, and we don't know if they're being allowed to stay there, but they are definitely staying in most buildings. And yeah, it'd be risky for us to see if there was some building we could sneak into there to watch the mayor's mansion.
Okay, maybe there's... Imagine it's pretty dark when all this meeting goes down.
It is.
All right. Is there a lot of I don't know, underbrush, or a lot of not well kept up plants and stuff people can hide in, ravines?
No, not really. Yeah, sorry, I was actually going to show you the map of Redstone, but for our purposes, it would have changed somewhat, so I didn't bother to look for it. Now I kind of wish I had.
Because originally we had 2 people?
Oh, no, just because the map was the stock map for Redstone. I'm having to change it somewhat in my head for our purposes here.
Okay. Have any of you been able to come up with anything as for how you want to go about this, or are we kind of all at the beginning stages?
Not really. No. This is about as far as we've gotten. It's only been a couple of months, and at first it seemed okay-ish. For the last few weeks, more of these guys have shown up and started causing trouble for the rest of us. So, you pretty much got in on the ground floor here.
Joy. Do they have a lot of arms as well?
Well, there's at least 2 for each of us. Yeah. Yeah, this is very early planning stage right now. They haven't really thought about weapons or anything.
Okay. What about the opponents that we face? Do they happen to be fairly well armed as well?
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay, I will. They are well armed. Looks to camera. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, the tactical disadvantage we currently suffer is the biggest reason we haven't taken any action yet.
Knowledge.
So, yeah.
All right. Does there seem to be a cutoff point or time when they start getting more violent with people on the streets? And I imagine that's not just you, but all of the townspeople in general.
No, I mean, one could presume that some of them are getting too drunk. But, yeah. They just seem to be considerably less professional once the sun goes down.
When the sun goes down. But that is violence that's being shown towards everyone?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Women, children, all?
Yeah, pretty much as anyone who's not one of them.
I'd like to hope that they're not any kind of sort of professionals, standing army of any type. Maybe they've abandoned another, but they don't sound very professional, at least. More ragtag.
Well, again, their uniforms suggest a degree of organization that our city guard never really had. And then one of the guys in the room just goes like, "Hey, we did the best we could, goddammit."
That was going to be another question.
Yeah, there's some of the city guard with us.
Some are
well,
the rest gone?
The ones who didn't run off, piss their pants, or just get killed. There's not many left.
May I ask how many do remain?
Well, we've got 4 of them in our group. I mean, between our 2 cells.
Okay. Well, I think our first plan of action should be to learn more, whether that's by staking out the mayor's office or trying to figure out what direction people are heading in leaving the city. Are people able to leave the city for, say, like trading purposes or anything like that, or?
Oh, no one has really tried. Yeah, again, some of the city guard just took off and left once these guys started showing up.
And that's been a couple months now?
Yeah, a few weeks since things got that bad.
A few weeks, okay. Does there happen to be any town that you all interact with on a regular basis?
Well, we pretty much interact with every town now.
Do you believe
they've been exporting a lot of the redstone?
Okay.
So that's why these guys chose this place, because it's starting to become more economically successful.
So there should be some kind of shipment of redstone going out, I would presume. Otherwise, why take over the town and cut off the export, the thing that would be gaining them the very money that they seek?
Yeah, they check those.
They check each of the carts as they
Yeah.
leave? Okay. Are they pretty... Do they have a lot of men watching where it's mined?
Well, they've got a few who just kind of walk up top of the quarry, keep an eye on everything down below. And then whoever of their guys are driving the shipments.
Their guys are driving the shipments?
Yeah.
Out of the town?
Yep.
And no one is... I guess it's hard to say for sure without being in the other towns what their reaction was to all of a sudden seeing men in uniform show up with the shipments.
Well, I mean, you can't really speak to that. All you know is that their guys are driving the shipments out of here.
They might not even be making it to the town.
And then, if I recall correctly, there are 2 roads on either side of the city that lead out of the city. And then there's a dock. I believe the dock is pretty close. God damn it, I really should know this.
Do they send any... Have you typically sent shipments by dock as well, by sea?
Yeah.
How is that monitored?
Well, it's their guys, their ships. So yeah, that's right. There is kind of a river access to Redstone. And a ways to the east, there's a river that goes down to a larger tributary, and then that goes out to the sea.
Okay. Do they have many ships? Is that how they arrived, or did they arrive by land?
Originally, they came by land. But for some shipments, boats make sense.
And the shipments that the ships are their ships, or do the ships to other places come by whatever trading company or?
Well,
or
the ones that you would see at the docks here are smaller boats. They're not like full ships, but they take portions of full orders, through this river network to their larger ships in the sea.
Okay. And those ships are manned primarily by these
One would
men?
assume.
All right. Presume.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, you haven't been there, so you wouldn't know.
I mean, these guys, I presume, off mic, I guess, like,
Well, they haven't necessarily been on these ships either.
been able to watch or look.
All they really know is what's going on within the town.
Okay. Oh, so the ships are removed from town? About...
Yeah. I mean, you see smaller boats down at the docks. They take portions of orders.
But too distant to really be able to see who's
Yeah.
on it, or
Yeah.
even if they're in uniform?
Yeah, you wouldn't see these ships at all.
Behind, like,
Red-
a
yeah,
hill
red-
or something?
Now, yeah, because Redstone is pretty far inland. There's just this network of rivers that have, they're all in like straight lines with right angles for the most part. So it's, presumably they're man-made. But yeah, it's just like a smallish river that eventually gets to the ocean.
Okay, but like the view of the even the boats on the river, I guess, is kind of obscured from most of the town.
Yeah, you wouldn't see them once they took that one turn. If you can even see them that far.
That helps me.
I'm not real sure of the scale on this map.
You drew it.
No, I didn't.
Did you get it just...
Oh yeah, it's their map. So you see, That right there is Redstone. That's the river Redstone sits on. That's another river that connects it to this larger river. And that's the ocean where they all run into.
I will be talking about where you found this map from later.
In the book.
Someone actually named the place Redstone?
Yes. That's where I got the name.
I thought you pulled it up from like some... I can't remember what some comedy show or something like that.
No. So, that was the name that we chose for the podcast. Because we first started playing Numenera, and I was trying to come up with a name for the show, and I came up with some obvious puns based on Numenera, and Redstone Diaries was the name that was randomly chosen by the die.
Okay. Maybe it was the Diaries part or something that like...
Because there was a show called Red Shoe Diaries.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
And then that because you like happened to name everything Redstone.
Yeah, just branding. Yeah. Yeah, and I spoofed the Red Shoe Diaries, like logo for the one that we use on the show.
Okay. And Red Shoe Diaries is...
It was a very, very sexy show starring David Duchovny.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that's... I probably caught some of it in listening to like an earlier description or something, but I was probably like too busy with whatever.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, it was an HBO show, but I believe you can find episodes of it on YouTube.
A tube of you. You.
Yeah. Anyway. So, now that you've got an idea of the geography here. Yeah, these guys, they don't know what's going on with any of this stuff outside of their little town.
And even then, knowledge is limited, it seems.
At best.
Storm the gates. Wait, probably not. Let's not do that.
Yeah, not just yet.
I don't see...
Unless you want to.
I don't see even a pocket knife, so...
Yeah, they're not well equipped. God damn it. Yeah, my throat's been sore for the last, day and a half. I'm guessing because of that spray and whatever was mutating in the refrigerator.
Spray?
Yeah, the air freshener.
You're not supposed to drink it or inhale it.
You're not the boss of me. No, but I've noticed that I do spray that on kind of heavy because I'm, smelling it really hard in the other room.
Well,
so.
Yeah, when you don't clean.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
And spraying an air freshener doesn't count as cleaning.
I know. It just puts off my cleaning even further.
Bad idea, folks.
Yeah, I know.
Bad idea.
Obviously. Now then.
Back to the plan that doesn't exist.
So yeah, if you have any ideas, that could be helpful. And sorry, what's your character's name again?
Belenus. Belenus Mordred.
That's right.
He's fabulous.
Yeah. You could have just said lamey lame, and that would have fit too.
Your face.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Anyway, thoughts?
So these peanut M&Ms, really good. It's a thought.
Yeah, I know that. That's why I bought them. Anyway, so everyone else is kind of, calmed down. Now they've all come back away from the windows. And how many did I say were in here? 6 or 7?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll say 7.
Good. A bigger number.
Yeah.
Is the other cell at least as big as this?
Not quite. We haven't really seen or talked to many of them. I just met a guy the other day who said he was getting people together. Okay, I don't know exactly what that meant, but
so number is something that we don't quite know?
Yeah.
Do you even know where they meet or who this individual was?
No, not so much.
Just in a kind of aside, or to you off mic, like how big is this town?
I mean, it's a little bit bigger now, but it.
Are there like how many people? 1,000? 10,000?
No, I'd say maybe 100 or two.
And 100 or two, and they don't know who the.
Well, it's grown a little bit because since they've increased the production from the quarry, so it's grown somewhat.
I'm just having a hard time picturing, like, not knowing.
Well, do you know everyone in your apartment complex?
Because I have to deal with the entire city, and we have a lot different kind of work structure than they would. Cars,
I wouldn't go that far.
technology. That and I really don't want to know all of my neighbors. Anyways, okay. Don't know how many there are. I can hope for a lot. So we have to act rather independently. Unless any of you like have any way of getting a message to the other cell at all, or are we entirely in the dark on that as well?
Yeah, we really haven't been doing this very long.
Okay, yeah, neither have I. Looks at watch. All right. Has it been about the time now when you noticed our unkind guests would typically be trying to meet outside of the mayor's place?
Well, they were heading that way earlier.
Okay, and they're completely gone from outside, correct?
Oh, yeah, you guys would not have been able to see them for a while.
Okay. Have you noticed, has anyone noticed at all if, like, after they would generally meet over by the mayor's, would it be for a certain amount of time that before you would see them again, or?
Well, morning-ish. Yeah, later morning. Around sunrise.
Okay. Once they've woken up from their night, do you know? Have you been able to kind of note which buildings they tend to hold up in or sleep in?
Some of them seems to change.
You're coughing. You're scaring me.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
I can't afford to get.
So yeah, we don't know specifically which buildings these guys are hanging around in. We just know that some of them go into some of these buildings. And we haven't seen them kicking in any doors, so we don't know exactly who is and isn't friends with them.
Okay. Imagine we can presume, especially with the show that was given today, that people will be a bit apprehensive of standing up to them, at least for a little while.
Yeah, that was probably their idea.
So, aside from the guardsmen that you would typically have, is there any other kind of group here or anything like that that has any kind of formal training, weapons training, anything like that?
Nope. I mean, most of us are, miners and rock shapers. But
Blacksmiths?
well, no. Just this is a stone town.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't work with metals.
Wow. Could have hoped, because then, I mean, we could have a semi-decent way of obtaining weapons.
Well, we can make some hammers and clubs, but nothing with blades, really.
A weapon is better than nothing.
Yeah, except their guys are watching over the quarry while we're working.
Okay. There's bound to be some area that they aren't able to watch because their numbers now aren't quite great enough to watch everything. Would we be able to... I want to try and sneak out now and see if we can't find something at the mayor's place.
All right. Well, if you want to sneak out, we could probably spare another couple guys to, try and move around the town. I recommend that, we all split up and just move silently.
That would be a good idea.
So...
And then I make sure of which direction the mayor's house is.
Oh, yeah, this is the direction that these guys were moving in. And you know clearly which direction they were moving in. So, yeah. One of these guys will go down to the far side of, the alleyway where you leave the building. And then they turn left and start heading down that street.
All right, so then I head in the other direction.
Yep. And then this other guy goes with you that far. And then the first chance he gets, he heads down another block. And he starts moving down the next street.
Street.
So now, you're all moving towards the mayor's mansion on different streets.
With not many weapons.
Well, I mean, you got something.
I do, but the poor fellows, they've got maybe a string in their pocket.
Probably.
Maybe some belly button lint.
Yeah, I mean, they're stone workers, so they're not exactly frail.
Fair.
So, yeah. Why don't you go ahead and roll a d20 real quick? Oh, you can just...
I thought I saw one somewhere. Where did...
In here.
The bottom is sticky.
Yeah, that's where the label was.
Shh, they wouldn't have known.
Shut up, Ben. And if you'd like to use that dice tower, you're more than welcome. I mean, now that I've got an actual dice tower.
I think he wants me to use his stuff.
Well, I mean, this is why I got it, so.
9.
Okay. So. Now I need to remember why I asked you to roll that. All right. Now you move down the street, a few buildings.
Cthulhu?
What?
So, what? Sorry.
Are you high?
No.
Why are you not sharing? Nah, it's cool.
I'm not that cool with my neighbors.
I get it. Now you start moving down the street. You're starting to come up to one of the main accesses for the quarry. So there are a couple of roads, or at least one road, that kind of intersects with everything else, and that goes directly to the quarry. And not too far from the quarry is the mayor's mansion. And it's kind of a lone building, pretty much sitting all by itself off to the side of the quarry.
Is it above the quarry and kind of like overlooks the town a little bit?
Well, it overlooks the town. The quarry, again, has expanded considerably in the last few months. So it's considerably larger than it was until recently.
Due to the harsh taskmasters.
Well,
also.
No, they were expanding before these guys showed up. Okay. Remember, that's why these guys showed up. It's just become less pleasant now that these guys have shown up. And you guys haven't... well, sorry, you guys. I mean you specifically. You don't really have any issues moving down this street. But towards the end of it, you can see you're coming up to this kind of larger thoroughfare. You see a couple of these guys kind of hanging out on the corner, smoking or drinking or something.
Okay, and they're just chitting the chat there on the corner?
Yeah, and give me another D20 roll.
Uh-oh. I think it's a good time to duck into an alley. Well, 14.
Okay. So you two manage to see them before they see or hear you. And you find a nice, cozy little corner to kind of dodge back behind before they do see you.
Yes.
Now, you can't see them at this point, but you can just barely hear that they are talking. You can't really hear what they're saying, but you do hear two distinct voices.
That's good. If there's just one... Well, I mean, there were two people, but...
Well, and again, this is all you see in this one street. You don't know what the other guys are saying.
Other guys?
Yeah, the other guys from the group of friends you just made.
Oh, what they are seeing?
Yes.
Okay. So are they also kind of like, are they on like one of the side streets from me?
Yes.
Okay. So they would also could be approaching. Are we kind of like converging on the same?
Yeah, you guys are coming up to the same kind of main street. But you do have about a block in between each of you.
Do I throw something? A cat? A rubber ducky? An elephant?
Do you have any of those things?
One of them might be easy to locate in the town, but the others might prove some...
Yeah, there aren't
Some
many
difficulty.
rubber duckies running around here.
Yeah. And the cat might be hard to find, but the elephant... I'm around any corner you could possibly run into one, right?
Yeah, you actually stepped in 3 of them on your way up.
In 3 elephants, that's... Ugh.
Yeah, so...
They're talking. Does it sound like excited or anything? Or?
Nah, just casual conversation. But, give me...
Damn it.
Give me a percentile roll now.
I was hoping one of those would have 2 digits on it.
Oh, yeah, sorry. They don't. You got percentile dice in that dice vault there. Yeah. Yep.
Just because, like, I think I know which one was first, but I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah. And there's nothing to worry about. It's not necessarily a matter of life and death yet.
Oh my god. It is now.
What'd you roll?
The lowest I could possibly roll.
Are you serious?
Yes. Fuck.
So 0, 0 on 1 and then 1?
0, 0, and 1.
Okay.
I suddenly have bad stomach gas, and...
I was going to say, give me a girlish yelp. Yeah, you. So, the guy who took the street to your right, he comes up behind you and, kind of taps you on the shoulder a little bit. And as you start to, whatever the fuck that was, he puts his hand over your mouth real quick to kind of quiet you.
I would not do that fucking shit.
You rolled a 1. This is what you get.
Damn the narrative.
Shh. Got a couple of guys over here.
I do hand motions.
Yeah, he has taken his hand away from your mouth now.
I mean, but they are close, so... Yeah. Do the whole Naruto hand sign things, and I imagine he looks rather confused. So then I whisper, "Are we wanting to sneak up on them?"
Well, it sounds like you got a couple over here too. So that's 4 by my count. And there's at best 3 of us. But we should probably wait and see what Billy over there says. And just then, you see Billy kind of dash across the street towards you guys.
Flash.
No. Alright. I caught 2 guys over in the corner there. And they started walking towards the mansion. But these guys over here are still standing around.
Alright, so that at least 2 of them are gone. That leaves just these 2?
Oh, no. That leaves 4.
Okay.
Yeah. This was the guy who took the street to your left.
So
His guys, he saw 2 guys kind of stop at that main thoroughfare. They walk towards the mansion. So there's the 2 on your street and the 2 on the other street.
Okay. So because this is about the time that they would start heading to the mansion then? Slowly?
Well, this is the time when they all head in this direction. Remember, that was just their working theory. Is that some of them might be at the mansion at this time. At the very least, all they really got is that they were coming at least this far.
Okay. If on that other street that you typically come from, on that other street that you were on, if there's those 2 that are already heading that way, or if we might be able to...
Well, they're walking past the guys that you 2 found.
Oh, the other 2 are walking?
Yeah, so if you're looking at the street you're on, there was the one guy on the street to your left. His 2 guys are walking to the mansion. The mansion would be closer to the street on your right.
So they're walking from left to right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I suppose you just watch and see. I mean, they might call or say something to the...
No, they just kind of, shrug and wave and as they walk past. But those 2 do indeed walk towards the mansion, while these 4 that you know of are just kind of hanging around.
Are there any kind of side streets or ways around?
There's some space in between the buildings, but, I mean, some of those spaces are too tight for 3 grown men and you to walk through.
To kind of follow follow the other guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it small enough that I could fit through?
It'll take some time, but I'm just speaking generally. There are a couple, every once in a while that, people can walk through. But for the most part, these buildings are close enough together that it would take a bit to really, slink in between them. So you might have to backtrack a little bit to find another street or some place to walk around. Again, if you were avoiding this main thoroughfare, where as far as you can tell, there are 4 of these uniformed assholes.
Uniformed holes of the ass. Yeah, I mean, just one of me, or even the three of us against four. I'd prefer the odds to be a little bit weighted in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Right, so I'd like to see if I can't manage to sneak through some of these, between some of the buildings, and get a little bit closer look at where these guys are heading. Would the rest of you be okay watching here? And if they do end up heading in that direction,
Yeah.
Slowly following, trying to stay out of sight.
So it takes you a couple minutes, and you pretty much do have to walk almost all the way around a block to get to a point to where you can actually kind of nudge yourself in between a couple of buildings to make your way to the other street. And as you do that, you see
Duck?
What? Huh?
What?
Shut up, asshole. You see the two guys on, we'll say street number 3. You were on street number 2. You see the two guys at the end of street number 3. Yes, that's what I'm thinking. And they're just talking, and then you see one of them kind of turn to the side and start shouting at the guys on the other corner, street 2. You would think.
Okay. They're like back behind me. Do you want to cover your mouth or anything?
No, I'm coughing into my shirt, mostly. No, a lot of it is like dust and shit from work. Anyway. Where was I? Yeah, so. They're not really moving. You just see one of these two guys kind of talking shit to the other two.
I was hoping that'd be something along those, like yelling at them so that they can start heading towards.
Well, again, you can't. I mean, the distance you are now, you can't really hear what they're saying. You just know that they are kind of yelling at them. Yeah. I mean, not really yelling. Again, they are speaking louder than they would than they should be in the middle of the night. But because of your now greater distance, you just can't hear so clearly what they're saying.
Those ass douches.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and so the two that were staying stationary are still, at least as I can see now, stationary. The two that were heading towards the mansion, can I see them at all anymore, or?
No, it's pretty dark heading up that way. So throughout the streets, you'll have kind of like lampposts, with small torches in them. But once you get to this main thoroughfare, there's basically nothing until you get like right within the vicinity of the mansion. And then they've got some lights.
Okay, so I get like on the main thoroughfare, a lot of the lamps are kind of dying out or just not lit.
Yeah, there just aren't any.
Okay. Is there any way? Would I have to kind of backtrack a little bit to get a little bit further away from where the guys were, the 4 guys?
Well, if you're running away, then you would leave. Are you trying to move towards them?
No, a little bit closer to the mansion, because that's what the goal was, to kind of see what's going on. If the other guys aren't moving, I don't really see why I should want to stay there anymore.
Well, you'd have to find some way to maybe get onto another street in that direction. If you're trying to avoid these at least 4 guys on that main street there.
Yeah. It'd probably be a good idea to avoid being detected by them if I can help it. So there's no other like side alleys or spaces between buildings or anything like that to get over there?
Well, it would take a few minutes to try and find something.
I'd at least like to try and get
All
to
right.
a point where they're like, because you said it's really dark and there's a point where there aren't many lights.
Right. Okay, roll a d20.
Where did I put it?
Did you eat it?
I put it back.
Okay.
God damn it.
Seriously? Okay, this is one of those times when you have to be smarter than the inanimate object.
Finger 5. I don't find anything.
No, so...
It'd take like 6 hours to...
So you don't really see anything like heading south away from the mansion. So you start kind of moving more northerly along the far side of the street you just approached. And there's there are a couple of buildings that are really close together, but you might be able to almost kind of squeeze yourself in between them. But as you start to do that, you kind of trip over some sort of a bush, and you fall down. And
I hate dice. Did you know that?
I'm sure it's a mutual consideration there. So
You also hate dice when you're playing.
I know, and I don't necessarily have to roll dice so much doing this now. Usually when I do it's just for fun to screw with you or to make decisions in my head.
Ass tush.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you go down kind of hard, and yeah, you do make a considerable noise.
I don't know if I like this dice tower.
Don't blame the dice tower.
Or the dice.
No,
I don't like the dice. Yeah, or the universe.
Well, get in line. I was doing it before it was cool. And when you finally settle and kind of hit the ground, you notice that you're not hearing those guys anymore.
Not a good thing. That means their attention is on me now.
Well, yeah, probably. Anyway, now you hear kind of, not really whispering, but you hear a couple of voices talking back and forth to each other.
Am I in any kind of relative darkness?
I mean, it's not like super bright, but you can hear that these guys are moving slowly and cautiously in your direction.
Down that same main street. Well,
But
I don't want 4 guys behind me and then who knows how many more in front of me at the mansion.
well, we'll figure that out next time. Yeah, we're gonna call this episode, and I'm gonna get another Dr. Pepper.
My guy's gonna die. He's gonna die a terrible death.
Yeah, probably.
The fucking dice.
Well, if ends and butts were candies and